Welcome back to Sweet and Savory Barbecue. I'm your host, Jamie Trader. Today, we're starting our Weber Kettle series. We're going to start it off with spare ribs. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get these ribs kind of trimmed up. These are St. Louis ribs. I prefer these over the baby backs. So baby backs tend to have a little bit of loin meat on them, a little bit drier depending on how you cook them. I prefer these that got a higher fat content, which leads to a better rib in my opinion. So they got this flap on the back. That's just gonna kind of burn up. So we're gonna take that off. Take that off. Gonna kind of square them up a little bit. I kind of drop this end bone here. Go. And see, it kind of thins out down here. So that's just gonna overcook. So we're just gonna kind of eyeball it here. You can throw this on if you want, or take the bones out and make it for sausage, whatever you want to do. Get off anything that's hanging. We've got some fat back here. I'll take that off. We're going to get that membrane off there too. All right. So to get the membrane off, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Spare ribs tend to be a little more temperamental when it comes to getting the membrane off. Still pretty easy to do. Just use a butter knife or a spoon. Get up under it. Grab a paper towel. And this is where I say they tend to rip. Baby backs will tend to come off. The membrane will tend to come off a little easier. Some of that big thick fat's going to come off too. All right, so this backside's looking pretty good. I'm going to get some of this, and again, just hanging stuff. It's just going to burn up. We're going to square them up here off the top. That looks all right to me. Let's flip it to the top. So you can see this right here. This is kind of like a leaner meat. You can almost put your finger right underneath of it and take it off. I'm going to get that off. That's going to dry out. The top side looks okay. Anything, again, kind of that's hanging it, just looks like it might burn up. That's what you're looking for. Other than that, that looks all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these seasoned up and get them ready to hit the grill. All right, so we're going to use a binder today. 50-50 whether or not I use a binder. It really just kind of depends on how I feel. I'm going to use mustard. You can use oil, hot sauce, kind of whatever you want. I'm using mustard today. Just a light slather. And I promise you, you won't taste it. It's just to help get the seasoning to stick. Now, with seasoning, I'm going to use my Sweet and Savory O.G rub. I'll put a link down in the description to where you can pick that up at. And on the back side, I tend to go a little bit lighter to help to keep these ribs from busting through. So, a lighter coat on the back. Still want some seasoning on there for sure. And don't rub it in, just press it. All right, we're going to flip it over. I'll do the same thing to the top side. A little mustard on there to help it stick, and the Sweet and Savory O.G. Push it in. Hit any spots you think you need a little extra. We're gonna let this sit right here on the counter while we get our grill fired up. All right, so to get our Weber fired up for the kind of smoking we're gonna do is I've got my charcoal lined up kind of in a snake method. I've got a drip pan here in the middle. I've got some apple juice in there. Probably doesn't make any difference, but that's what I do. Before we close the grill, we'll come up here and we'll put some wood chunks. I'm gonna use pecan today. You can use whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and light our fire starters right here. Leave this open for a few minutes to kind of let our charcoal get good and started. Then we're going to crank the bottom vent down to about halfway as well as the top vent. And we'll kind of show you through that once we get a little bit closer. All right, so we've got a good bit of charcoal lit. We're going to go ahead and get some pecan chunks, kind of evenly space them throughout. Put our grate back in place. And we're going to get a lid on. And what I'm going to do is wherever the fire's at is where the opposite is where I'm going to keep my exhaust. I'm going to bring it kind of open for right now, wide open. And then as it comes up in temperature and gets a little closer, we're going to do about halfway. All right, so we got our grill fired up. We're looking anywhere between 250 and 300. Honestly, I don't even know what it is. I got half on the top, half on the bottom. That's normally what I found has worked really well for the Weber Kettle. Don't mind the dog in the background. So we're going to set these ribs right over here. And as this fire burns, we're going to rotate these ribs a little bit. We want to try to keep them cooking fairly even. So we're gonna let them go. We'll check on them in about an hour. The ribs have been on about 2 hours. We checked them at 1 hour. Didn't have the color we were looking for, but they do right now. Looking pretty good. The backside looks okay. So we're gonna get them inside, get them wrapped up. All right, so to get these wrapped up, we're gonna do a couple ingredients. We've got some dark brown sugar. Lay a line of that down. We've got some unsalted butter, about half a stick. A little more of the rub we used, and some maple syrup. You can use honey or agave, whatever. We just had maple syrup, so that's what we're going with. Get our ribs. I'm gonna put them meat side down. Pick off all these little crusties. I'm not gonna put anything on the backside. I like to keep the backside just like it is to help keep that rib intact and not have bust through. So we're gonna double layer them with foil. There's one layer. Put them up one more time. Put these back on the grill, meat side down. Still holding that temperature about 250 to 300. All right, so we are, I don't even know, probably about 3 hours in or so. Let's come take a peek at our ribs. I just took a peek at them. They felt pretty good. They're looking awesome. You can see we're starting to get some drawback on these bones. And what I'm looking for, if you're looking for a temperature, 208, 207, depending on how you cook them, what I'm really looking for is that they're soft. And they are. You can tell there's no resistance in them. So we're going to get them off. We're going to let them rest. You can go upwards of like a half hour out. If you want to go like 2 hours in like a Cambro or a dry cooler, you can do that. I'm going to let them go about 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to glaze them up. So our ribs have been resting over here for about 20 minutes. So we're going to get them out of the packaging. Got a nice, pretty color on them. Let's get some glaze on them. What we're going to use for our sauce is just this Blues Hog Original. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you like. Do a little bead on the backside. Not too much. Got a brush, we'll brush it in. Give them a little flip. So we got a little tear there, that's okay. We're gonna put some sauce over that, cover that up. A little sauce on this side, go. Get that bone edge. One last step, hit it with a little bit more of the OG rub or whatever barbecue rub you're using. There we go. We're gonna let that go back on the grill for about 10 minutes or so. Just let that sauce tack up. All right, so these ribs have glazed. They're looking pretty. So what we're going to do, we're going to flip them over. This is the easy way to cut them because you can see where the bones are. We'll touch up the tops when we're done. Cut nice and soft, just going between each bone. Make sure you cut all the way through, just like you would. Cutting like they're nice and tender. What we're going to do is as we flip them, we're going to touch up a couple things with our sauce. Touch a little bit on the top side and then brush the inside of each one. Oh, competition trick. Brush the inside of that side, flip it over, touch up the top, and hit the inside of that one. We're gonna do that for the rest of these, then we're gonna try them. All right, so we're all glazed up. I'm gonna grab one right here out of the middle. Looks good. Still lots of juice coming in there. Let's take a bite. Perfect bite. It's tender, but it's not falling off the bone. It's hot. Dynamite rib. So there you have it. That's how easy it can be to make some dynamite ribs just on a simple Weber kettle that anybody can do for fairly cheap. Now I will say I was cooking on a 26-inch Weber kettle. If you're cooking on a 22, you may need to adjust just how you place the ribs on there, but you're still gonna make some dynamite food. Thank y'all for hanging out with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next videos coming out. Make sure you follow us on all the other social platforms, and we'll see y'all next week.